Today's video is going to be brought to you by Squarespace. Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, bringing you guys another Boruto Naruto Next Generation discussion on the fallout from Boruto chapter 80. And today we gotta discuss a major change that the manga has given us in regards to Boruto's time skip, and how Sasuke, by saving Boruto and becoming a rogue ninja, has now cemented himself as being the next Itachi and following in the footsteps of his brother, which is both a good thing as well as a bad thing of poetry that we really need to take a look at, because what's waiting at the end of the road for Sasuke is something that will be fitting for his character given everything he's gone through up until this point in the story. So jumping right into it, we as Sasuke fans all know that the moment he decided to listen to Sarada and save Boruto, it immediately became a problem for him. Sasuke, as he is currently, is on probation at the discretion of the Hokage, and he's still technically a criminal for his crimes during the era of the Fourth Ninja War. In spite of everything he's done, he's merely what Orochimaru told him in the Sasuke story of Sunrise, which is that he himself and Kabuto are merely monsters that the five nations know that they can't put down, because if there was ever a big threat that showed up, the five nations and their Kages and the feudal lords who the Kages answer to know that they need monsters to fight more monsters. He never had any real rank, something that we discussed here on the channel more than once in detail. The Shadow Hokage is not a real position, it's made up. It's why in the manga, when the older Jonin was speaking to Sasuke, he didn't even call Sasuke by his first name. It was you, as in an object, as in less than human. It was Uchiha. It was very telling. As the Sasuke the Teacher Star People story explained to us, the older generation still harbor some resentment towards Sasuke despite the good deeds, and the younger generations like Naruto and Boruto's generation believing that Sasuke is actually a good person, he's turned a leaf. They watched him with suspicion, believing that he will eventually slip up and regress back to his old ways. However, by saving Boruto, Sasuke has now made himself into a rogue ninja and is being hunted down by people in the shinobi world. The ironic thing is that while many will look at him, and those from the older generation will have looked at this and say that Sasuke wasn't to be trusted and would revert back to his old ways, they're gonna feel justified. The new generation, they're gonna be confused, but Naruto's generation in particular, the members of the Konoha 11, will be the most confused and the most hurt. They gave Sasuke a second chance, even after all of them with the exception of Team 7 were on board with killing him before the Fourth Ninja War. They saw the great lengths that Naruto went through to bring Sasuke back from the darkness, yet in their eyes, Sasuke has just spat in the face of all of that. Sasuke not only betrayed the village by leaving with Boruto, but he prevented the capture and execution of Boruto, the boy who they believe killed Naruto and Hinata, their Kage, and one of the key members of the four noble clans of Konoha, with each of those respectively. Two of their own were killed by Boruto, and Sasuke still chose Boruto's side. That's going to get him listed in a bingo book very quickly, and that's going to leave plenty of people with ire pointing in his direction. But where this becomes even more poetic and heartbreaking is the fact that what Sasuke's doing is the same thing as what his brother Itachi did. Allow me to explain. In order to protect the village, he shouldered the hate of the village because it was needed in order to protect it from the threat that the village itself didn't know existed. This is what it truly means to be a quote Shadow Hokage, doing things that you'll never get credit for, doing things that might make the very people you love hate you, doing things that might very well end up with you dying for something bigger than yourself and nobody ever truly knowing the extent of your sacrifice. Right now, Sasuke, by going rogue with Boruto, is showing Boruto what it truly means to be a Shadow Hokage, something that Boruto up until now couldn't truly understand, because for as much talk and bravado as Boruto had of wanting to walk in the footsteps of Sasuke, he didn't truly know what that entailed, because his sheltered life prevented him from seeing the full extent of what this means. Even on the missions where he went to the Land of Silence, those missions might have opened him up to the bigger shinobi world, but even then there were times where we saw that sheltered upbringing show itself with Boruto. There's no room for that now that they're on the run. Sasuke knows that something is wrong. He also very likely is going to be told by Boruto that Naruto isn't actually dead, but instead has been sealed away by Kawaki, which means there is ultimately a way to release Naruto. Naruto, yet nobody would believe Sasuke if he was even allowed to return to Konoha and reveal the truth. He said it himself in the manga chapter, despite knowing that there are discrepancies, he has a force deep within himself that is telling him to ignore it, and it's something that he has to fight constantly. He has to consciously fight it. If it's that hard for someone as strong-willed as Sasuke, what do you think it'd be for the other people in Konoha? Sasuke knows that when it comes to trying to rescue Naruto, it's not going to be something as easy as parading Boruto and allowing him to use Talk no Jutsu on someone. Sasuke now knows that Kawaki is the strongest person in the village and is only going to continue getting stronger because he's going to have time to grow accustomed to using Ishiki's dojutsu and mastering its power. His best option right now is to take the logic Orochimaru told him that the Kages hold towards himself and Orochimaru and Kabuto, where they said only monsters can fight other monsters. He might be a monster, but he needs another Otsutsuki to fight Kawaki, which means training Boruto up during the time skip. However, this brings us back to the Itachi issue in comparison. Just as Itachi was hunted down by the very village he was trying to protect, Sasuke is in the same position. Like his brother, he's willingly a rogue ninja. 2 years after the war, there was a moment where the Kage, when they got a whiff that Sasuke, who was being framed and only Kakashi and Gaara knew about it, had plotted against the Five Nations, there was a Kage summit that was being called to discuss killing Sasuke, which I've covered in a whole nother video. We've now hit the point where Sasuke is at risk of having to go into the darkness to find a way to release Naruto, and know that doing so might very well conclude with his own death, especially if Kawaki becomes anywhere near as skilled with this dojutsu as Ishiki was. Ishiki was strong enough and skilled enough with the dojutsu that Sasuke never landed one hit on him, and even 6-pass chakra mode Naruto struggled to land a hit. Sasuke might not have to worry about an Ishiki level of power coming from Kawaki, but if Kawaki has that level of skill, Sasuke's in for a world of hurt. Even if it's just assisting Boruto or being the pillar that supports Boruto, he runs the risk of being killed in order to help set the stage to release Naruto and Hinata. The worst thing about it is there's a chance that he ends up exactly like Itachi, where nobody knows when he makes this sacrifice what he did for the village. And when Naruto is released, it's going to be a similar thing most likely. Boruto can talk to these blue in the face about what it is that Sasuke did, but it might end up being in vain, just like Naruto did after the Ninja War, where he told people that Itachi was the one who broke the Edo Tensei, and without him they couldn't have won the war, which I've also covered in another video. It might give Itachi some honor, but it definitely didn't fully move the needle. If what Momoshiki said is true to Boruto, that the omnipotence cannot be reversed, nor can its effects be reversed, then Sasuke likely ends up being remembered as a person who helped not just the Hokage's killer escape, but helped the person who killed Naruto. Naruto is bigger than a Hokage title. This is the guy who saved the world from Kaguya. This is the guy who saved the ninja world 2 years later from Toneri. This is the guy who saved the ninja world 13 years later from Momoshiki. And he did a lot of the heavy lifting in the battle against Ishiki to save the world. He saved the world more times than he has actual children. Betraying a man like that with this level of legendary status, who puts so much at stake just to allow Sasuke to walk around freely, is never gonna redeem him in the eyes of many, assuming what Momoshiki said is correct. For a Shadow Hokage, they don't ride out into the sunset. There is no retirement plan for Shadow Hokage. There's no pension. They often die. Jiraiya was alone with his regrets and making peace with his life as he drowned at the bottom of the ocean, crushed by the pressure of the water. A truly horrible demise. Itachi was covered in a pool of his own blood, dying with a smile on his face as it rained. Sasuke might end up on a path that is very similar, just given the circumstances. I know it's not something that any of us want to discuss, and despite all the videos I do saying like Sasuke's gonna die, check this out, Sasuke's dying, despite all of that, Sasuke is one of my favorite characters, so it does hurt me to actually talk about this, but it could be something that likely happens just given what just happened in the manga, which likely means the only way Sasuke is going to be truly remembered for what it is he's done is if it's all archived and preserved by Boruto on a website that he builds using Squarespace. If you've ever thought about creating your own website, Squarespace needs to be the first place that you head to when you decide to get started, because Squarespace gives people a powerful and beautiful online platform to help you create your own personal website. By using Squarespace, Squarespace to create your own website, you can connect with your audience and generate revenue through gated members-only content. You can manage memberships, send email communications, and leverage audience insights all on an easy-to-use platform. Create a community on your Squarespace website with a fully integrated commenting system that supports threaded comments, replies, and likes. Use their powerful blogging tools to categorize, share, and schedule your posts too. Extend Squarespace already powerful e-commerce capabilities with Squarespace extensions. These new third-party tools can help you manage inventory, promote products, streamline bookkeeping, reconcile and file sales tax, and ship items across the globe. You can even display posts on your social media platforms onto your website, automatically push website content to your favorite social media channels so your followers can share it too. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Naruto Explained to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Thank you again to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video.